by Riverside.
What's up, everybody? It's 2 o'clock. I'm Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. We make up this here show called The Bullpen. We are live here at Toyota Field in Madison. I just had lunch. I'm fresh off my lunch break. I'm ready to go. I'm full. I'm fueled up. So you might hear some dad stuff come up here in a little bit.
What an opener to the show.
I'm fueled up, man.
Welcome in, everybody. I just had lunch. I might be a little burpy.
I just got
All right. Hey, y'all hear about Tom Brady? It's crazy.
I just got back from lunch. I feel good. I had Lachlan, y'all had some Berea ramen.
Oh,
God, it was good. You mock it now, dude. Try it. Try it. It's good.
all right.
It's going to be a long show if you're making fun of me like this, dude. What are we doing
I
here?
just didn't expect it. Like, hey, what's going on? It's Wednesday. What a day in sports. A lot of people getting hired. A lot of people retiring. And I had a
Wait, who retired? Who retired?
That burrito, man. That burrito you saw at lunch, apparently.
I did
it
put
saw
it down.
you. It said,
You see this right here? You don't get this. You don't get this without putting a burrito away.
I'm working on my own right now.
You don't get that without putting away a burrito, dude. All right.
I hear you.
Look, I'm at 204 pounds, and I lost 10 pounds. All right.
I didn't think the show was going to go this way. I'm going to be honest.
Think you get this from running?
Hey, look, I'm not challenging you,
kidding
buddy.
me?
I love it. It's
You know how many 5Ks this bad boy
It's
sings?
powerful, dude. I would never challenge you. I would never, say a foul word about your yard or how your mailbox was installed. Please don't take this as any. You surprised me. All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We do have a lot going on in the world of sports today. There's been plenty in the world of the NFL. Tom Brady just hates it when there's any other story besides him because 2 head coaches were hired in the span of 5 minutes from each other yesterday. And Tom Brady said, you know what? On Wednesday, it's going to be about me. No one's going to react to this story. They're going to react to me. 1 year ago today, Tom Brady retired from the NFL. That lasted 40 whole days. He got home with his wife and his kids and said, you know what? I would much rather get hit by grown men for another 17 regular season games and a playoff game than I would rather stay at home with these people for another 5 seconds.
Not a direct quote.
It's paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But he comes back, and now, 1 year from the day he retired, he is now retired again. Last year he put out the big statement and everything else after Schefter ruined it. And then now he has come back to put out not even a minute-long video saying he's done. He tears up a little.
Oh.
And I'm here. I told you.
Hey.
I warned you.
Hey, my guy had a big lunch. Okay.
This guy right here. But Tom Brady has officially retired again. He says he is done for good this time. And I will be the first one to tell you that a guy last year who didn't like the stories being spun that Tom Brady didn't like the fact that Adam Schefter ruined his retirement. So he came out of retirement, went through another 17 regular season games, went through a postseason, divorced his wife just so Adam Schefter couldn't be the one to steal his life. There's no way that's what it was. Tom Brady's not that vindictive. Tom Brady loves football. He wants to keep playing football. I don't think he's done. I do not believe this retirement at all.
The timeline worries me. Because today when he retired, and then I found out it's the exact same day he retired last year, I got worried, and I'll tell you why. How long has he retired? You said 40 days?
40 days.
In exactly 40 days, I get married. If Tom Brady unretires on my wedding day and steals the spotlight, I swear I will re-retire that man, all right?
Would you move your wedding day?
I will skip my honeymoon. I will fly to whatever tropical locale Tom Brady calls home, and I will spend it there.
That morning, let's say he unretires the morning of your wedding, and there's time. Do you move your wedding? Do you get everybody together? Like, hey guys, the cake looks great, but we gotta have to.
I'm gonna take a selfie video of me walking into the room full of people and going, "It's over. Get out. It's on you, Tom." I'm gonna look into the camera and go, "It's on you, Tom," and I'm gonna tag him. He's gonna see it because I'm sure he gets notifications. I'm sure he probably looks at all of them. And I'm gonna go, "It's your fault, Tom. Everyone, get out of here. Grandma, get up. I know it's going to take a while. Get to stepping, okay? Wedding's over. Brady screwed it up. He's going back to the Niners. We'll be in love next year."
We'll be in love next year. So it's funny you bring up the Niners. I think that's why I don't believe the retirement because of the state of the 49ers. Tom Brady has been a 49ers fan since he was 4 years old, and it is a team now whose quarterback room a year ago when Tom Brady came out of retirement was not really in question. You had Jimmy G there still. That was looking to be traded. Like they were trying to get rid of him. They couldn't get rid of him, so you had your solid backup in Jimmy G. And Trey Lance was they had said, like, we're transitioning Trey Lance. This is the Trey Lance show. Now, fast forward a year, Trey Lance is we still don't know what he is because, I mean, we barely saw him play at North Dakota State. We barely have seen him in San Francisco because he got hurt, and then now he's coming off of a serious injury. Brock Purdy,
multiple surgeries from Trey Lance, too. Not like, one and done. They had to go back in. Never good.
Yeah, and then last I heard, Brock Purdy, there was a small chance, but at minimum, Brock Purdy's looking at 6 months to heal his elbow, the UCL tear that he had.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot longer.
Yeah, I saw today that there's a chance that this dude could have Tommy John surgery to have to surgically repair this. So you've got Brock Purdy that's in question, and then you have Jimmy G who's a free agent. So the quarterback room is looking for some kind of experienced person that can come in there, like basically be a Brock Purdy. That's all you need is to basically come in there and be a Brock Purdy, not mess up, let your weapons do the job, because not only is the offense built really well, you've got Debo, you've got Christian McCaffrey, you've got George Kittle. Across the offensive line, you've got Trent Williams. And then on the defense, you have one of the best defenses in the NFL, right? So you've got, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. I mean, you're loaded on the defensive side of the ball. So you plug a Tom Brady in there, and he's 46-year-old Tom Brady. What do you expect him to do? Be Brock Purdy. That's all I need him to do. Don't turn the ball over. Be smart, which Tom Brady is when it comes to football. And you go to the NFC Championship game minimum, you're competing to play in the Super Bowl.
What if he has a big lunch, though?
They make medicine for
He's
that.
46.
Papa Zantac.
I mean, you're in your rookie year of being a dad. This guy, not in his rookie year of anything.
Papa Zantac, dude, you'll be all right.
That could be against the drug rules.
Could you imagine?
You get busted for a Zantac in the league, they might suspend you.
Could you imagine Tom Brady testing positive?
That would be the greatest thing ever, dude. Tom Brady's coming back. He's going to play at 47 years old. Breaking news, Week 6. Tom Brady suspended due to violation of the PED rule for the National Football League. What was it? Was it Androlone? Was it what did he have? Was it some of that deer antler velvet? Nah, dude, it was a Pepsid. Yeah, Pepsid got him. That guy was popping them like Mike and Ike's. We had to get him out of here. It's an unfair advantage. Micah Parsons has to deal with acid reflux just like the rest of us, all right? With patience. Get the hell out of here.
So the 49ers are built to win a Super Bowl. And I told you a couple weeks ago that I think Tom Brady, the perfect storybook ending for him would be not to just go out as a Super Bowl champion. Now it might be as he's in his mid-40s, on the other side of his mid-40s. He'll be 46 next year by the time football season rolls around. You go out as a champion with your childhood team, you're done. Like, you win a Super Bowl with your childhood team. What else is there for Tom Brady to do? That's the one thing that he could look at when they come to him this offseason. If anybody comes to him and says, hey, look, we have this built, but I did that with Tampa. Did that with New England, and then I went to Tampa and was a mercenary for a year and went and won a championship with them. What makes me want to go do that with another team? Well, we're the 49ers. We're your childhood favorite team. That's the story. You have family that still lives in the area, and it's not traveling for them super far to go to every home game. That's the perfect storybook ending for Tom Brady. I think all of his kids live with his ex-wives, so it's not like he – I'm being serious. I think that's
in that area or in the California.
No.
Area?
One of them, I think Michelle. I think Giselle lives in Miami. So they live out there. His kid that he had with his previous wife lives in like New York.
Well, you can fly him wherever he wants.
Right. So I think that if San Francisco comes a calling, then Tom Brady would come out of retirement. And the fact that I think that's a realistic possibility, considering the state of their quarterback room and the way the rest of their roster is built, which is to win right now, that tells me that Tom Brady might realistically get a call for them. And if he does, he's coming back to play for them.
The Brock Purdy news makes this all very, very interesting. I don't know if Tom Brady had the retirement scheduled beforehand or if he dropped it when he heard that news or if he was just legitimately retiring. I don't think he is. I think he goes to the Niners, like you said. I've been saying that since last year. I thought he'd find a way there. when he was talking to Tampa Bay. Remember when he was seen at like that Manchester United game? He's hanging out with the ownership at the Bucks. He's working on some kind of deal out of retirement, but you knew you're like he's working a Brady deal. Like what's going on? Is he working a trade? Is he working to get Wednesdays off, which I think is something like he actually had. But he was working a deal, and now I feel like he's retiring now. Doesn't have to. You can just kind of lay low for a little bit, but the 49ers know that he's out there and available. It gives him a little bit of leverage. He's like, look, I'm stepping away. I really don't. I don't. Mm-hmm. I'm done with the game. But the 49ers know they're a Tom Brady away from immediately being like maybe the favorite in the NFL. I mean, that good of a team with that kind of leader, even in his mid-40s, massive. And just like I was telling you earlier when we were talking about this, like Brock Purdy got hurt. He's out. He could be out for 2 years.
Minimum 6 months.
And, that he made it through, 6 weeks as a starting quarterback. Tom Brady's made it through 23 years, and he's had one serious injury.
And they changed the rule after that.
Yeah. And Brady knows how to get down. Like, when he's about to get sacked, he's like the toys in Toy Story when Andy walks in. Completely limp. But that keeps you alive, man. That keeps you playing into your mid-40s.
Yeah.
I think Brady comes back, but he's going to farve it. He's like, I'm not trying to go to OTAs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to go to train camp. I don't even want to practice on Wednesdays, okay? Call me first week of August. We'll see what we can do, all right?
Yeah, I've seen some other people put out there that they think Aaron Rodgers is a more realistic quarterback for the 49ers. And I disagree because Tom Brady's a free agent. Aaron Rodgers you would have to trade for. 49ers just have to give Tom Brady whatever contract he wants, a friendly contract. They don't have to trade and give up capital for him.
Brady's always been a friendly contract guy, too.
Right. They would have to give up. They would have to trade for Aaron Rodgers and then also pay him a ton of money because he's making on that contract a ton of money.
And think about it. If you're the Niners and you want a guy that's going to lead this team into the Super Bowl range where it's fallen short year after year, do you want Aaron Rodgers? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is kind of a lightning rod. Tom Brady seems like a better fit for that.
Well, I mean, if you're Aaron Rodgers, though, your kryptonite in the NFC has been the 49ers. So who else is there to beat you?
Yeah, but if you're the Niners, like, you don't need an Aaron Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers is – what makes him so great is, his ability to throw that back shoulder, his accuracy, his ability to make plays with that flick of the wrist release. You don't have to have that with the 49ers. The 49ers got positionless players who run, catch, they turn screens into that. You don't have to have a down-the-field threat or anything crazy like that. Tom Brady's the fit. I mean, you want that other coach on the field, and you want that guy just give the ball to McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, whatever.
I agree. That's why I think the 49ers will probably come calling in. If they do, he's in there. Definitely in there. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to talk about a lot. That's last week's note. Dude, what's that doing up here? Why is that?
You tell me, man.
Why's
You
that
got
here?
a big lunch.
I don't
It's
want
all right.
I don't want to talk about Burrowhead, all right? They lost that game.
You had a big lunch.
I want to talk about the
Got confused.
Alabama coordinators. We don't know what's going on with that. Like, I had you so in on Ryan Grubb, and then Ryan Grubb was like, I'm going to stay at Washington.
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I fell in love with a guy named Ryan Grubb. I didn't even know. I was already convinced he was going to. You told me about that guy, and I told you, I said, look, it took about 18 seconds, but I'm all in. Grubb's the guy. Let's get grubbed. And
then I came back downstairs to get you stoked up about, like, hey, we still in? You got any more about Ryan Grubb that you're pumped up about? And you're like, dude, I think he's going to be pretty good. I'm like, yeah, well, he's staying in Washington.
The whole coordinator search for Alabama's got me scared. I keep hearing all these names I don't like, and then whenever I hear a name that I do like, then I'm like, oh, okay, all right, he's pretty good. Not taking the job, and then I'm back to the scary guys like Grantham and who's the offensive coordinator? I'm seeing like
Jeff Lebby from Oklahoma.
Dan Mullen, I'm seeing, okay, which has got a stink to it, but I don't even think I hate that. But then, I'm worried, man. I want Pruitt. I thought I wanted Grubb. Do I want to, is Joe Brady the guy? Was Joe Brady the guy in 2019 for LSU, or was Joe Burrow the guy that made that all happen? Brady hasn't really found success anywhere after he left LSU, but it was in the NFL. Maybe he needs to return to the college game. I don't know. The whole thing's got me tore up. But Yeah, it went nuts, didn't
They
it?
just crossed.
And then Saban's
And
doing
I don't
all
think
these
he did it on
interviews. It
purpose.
feels like it's going to be a lengthy process. They're really going to take their time. I'm panicked, man. I'm panicked. They can't screw this up again.
Really interested to see what happens. If Todd Grantham's your answer on defense, then I'm worried for Alabama. Going over here to the YouTube, we've got Troy By getting in. He says we should be able to name that UCL surgery after an NFL player instead of Tommy John, right? He said, I wonder how many strictly NFL fans are asking, who is Tommy John?
That might be the greatest sports achievement Tommy John ever had, was his ability to cross over from baseball into other sports with injury. Mm. What a maverick.
You have to be severely, messed up in the NFL or the NBA to have Tommy John surgery, though.
You don't hear it much.
No.
No. Two-sport athlete, though, Tommy John. Good for him.
So what would we name it? If we had to name the Tommy John surgery after an NFL player, who's...
Purdy ugly. Purdy ugly surgery. You don't want that.
Got to get the Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy surgery.
No, Tommy John has such a strong name.
He does. It's a great name. They didn't name that surgery after Joe Theismann after he snapped his femur in half. So I mean, maybe in the NFL you just get surgery.
Yeah,
we don't name it.
No, we don't have to. Yeah, we're trying to defer all the injury stuff. We don't want to bring more attention to it by naming it something from a player that suffered a famous injury in the NFL. You don't want that kind of attention.
It worked out well for Tommy John. We wouldn't talk about Tommy John if it wasn't for that injury.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It worked out pretty good for him.
Don't guys come back from Tommy John now and
that
sometimes get better? Could Brock Purdy be like a cyborg at the end of this thing? Could he be awesome?
I don't know if he's going to have the Tommy John surgery or not, but Tommy John surgery used to be the death nail. You have to have you're done. Your career's over. You're not going to be very good if you do get to come back and play. And now it's like an ACL tear. You come back earlier from an ACL tear and you've got a bionic knee now.
Was it Max Fried that had Tommy John surgery? No, not Soroka.
Soroka
the Braves had was it Strider? Has he had Tommy John once?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. He's only a rookie. He was a rookie this year.
I mean, you have Tommy John surgery when you're in high school if you do it. If you mess up.
Were you going to say if you do it right?
Yeah, if you do it right, you could achieve Tommy John surgery as young as being a high schooler.
The Johnny Tom surgery from the NFL. Tommy John's such a strong name, man. I like it. But
yeah, I don't know, man.
So back to the Brady retirement. One more thing I wanted to talk about before we get out of here on the Tom Brady stuff anyway would be it has to be probably because I don't feel like it's over, or the fact that he retired a year ago, or the fact that we've seen Brett Favre retire and unretire over and over again. But retirements do nothing for me anymore. I don't when they cry and they're putting out all these things, I'm not saying I don't believe that they feel it, they do, but I have no emotional attachment to anybody that retires anymore. I'm like, that makes sense.
It's like Sean McVay when he retired for a second time in 2 straight years for I think a total elapsed time of 12 days total for both. It's all a ploy.
I just don't. I don't know. You either expect it to happen, like when Peyton Manning retired, you expected it because Peyton Manning had fallen off a cliff in just the span of a year. 2013, he's breaking NFL records, and then 2 years later, he's fighting for a job with Brock Osweiler.
And look at how he retired. He had a press conference. He had people from the past. He wore a tie. Tom Brady went to the beach.
For selfie video.
Filmed a video while his coffee was brewing in the kitchen. That doesn't feel like a retirement, just like it didn't feel like one a year ago. A guy like Tom Brady, arguably the greatest football player to ever play, and you're going to drop a video on Twitter just like this?
It's not even a minute. It's 50 seconds
The guy
long.
didn't even have a tripod. He didn't even lean it against a book. He just went, hey, I guess I'll stop being a famous football player now. Oh, is that a dolphin? What is it? Oh, no. Sorry. Just a lot of things distracting me because I'm only halfway caring about this retirement right now.
I did forget that Fox did sign him to be their number one broadcast guy for 10 years, $300 million.
I don't think Tom Brady ever goes into a booth.
I think you're more likely to see Tom Brady on the field than in the booth next season.
Jay Cutler had a deal like that. And then he saw the check and how significantly less it was compared to his NFL check. And then he went to the Dolphins for a year and never came back to the booth. I kind of think Brady's going to be the same way. I think he's going to be like, why did I retire and then get a job? I don't want a job.
Yeah. Jay Cutler
Tom
was
Brady could do
significantly
so
younger,
many
too.
other cool things inside the world. Peyton Manning. Peyton and Eli created their own genre of broadcasting sports.
Yeah.
They do it from their house on a Zoom call. That's how you do it when you're a top-notch historic player and retire. You don't retire and go work for Fox. That's what Daryl Moose Johnston does. Or, that's what a player who was good, but, they still need a job.
Yeah.
Tom Brady don't need a job, man. No, he do whatever he wants. And now he's going to go call, he's going to call the Commanders versus the Panthers on a Sunday afternoon.
Now, enough of Tom Brady, because he's not the most important story in the NFL right now. Because I don't think he's done playing. The big story, in my opinion, in the NFL right now are the new coaching hires that we had yesterday. Back to back, within minutes of each other. You had the Denver Broncos announced, and then right after that, the Houston Texans announced. The Broncos have had to trade capital to go get Sean Payton. Sean Payton's back in the NFL, baby. He's here. He's going to be coaching Russell Wilson and this abysmal Denver Broncos offense. And it's such an interesting case to see him come in because this is a team that won, 4 or 5 games last year. And I immediately, with the addition of Sean Payton, feel like that's a playoff team next year. And they should have been a playoff team this year. This was supposed to be the best division in football this year. It didn't turn out to be that way. But for whatever problems they had, it just seemed like it never worked out. It never seemed like a roster issue. It was always surprising every week to see Russell Wilson try to throw for more touchdowns than bathrooms that he has in his house because he's an all-pro player. He is a really, really great NFL quarterback, or he has been in his career. I know that he's in his mid-30s. He might be hitting a wall, but it surprised everybody. I don't think there was many people that saw that move of Russ to Denver and went, that's not going to work out. They overdid it. They went for a quarterback that's not even that good. When that offense didn't do anything, it was surprising because everybody expected it to be good. And the addition of Sean Payton kind of expected not to be Super Bowl worthy, but to be playoff contention and be somewhat relevant and I expect them to be pushing for a playoff spot next year.
2 words. Less ride. Am I right? Less ride, baby.
Let him cook, dude.
Hey,
Let Russ cook.
If you look at the numbers for Denver from the first 15 weeks where Hackett was the head coach, and then the 3 games they played after they fired him, the offensive numbers were drastically better in those 3 weeks after he was gone. I mean, insanely better. That makes me think maybe Russell Wilson isn't a complete bum like we treated him like one for the last 4 months, 4 or 5 months. That offense under an interim coach instantly got better. So was Hackett just an absolute bum hire? Was it a terrible job? It seemed like he lost his team by the halfway point of the season. You got to think if with an interim, if they can improve by 6 or 7 points a game with Sean Payton, we might have a team that could go from really ugly to really nice just like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Denver was good next year. Their defense played well all year. Offense got better once Hackett was gone. Now you're bringing in a guy like Sean Payton who he's going to get you some offense.
Now, is Sean Payton is he an improvement? Is he going to make a difference on this team? Yes, I think so, and I agree with you. I think we're going to see some improvement. Like you said, already saw some improvement once you got rid of Hackett. Ethan says, if Wilson puts out a commercial that isn't cringe, then we will know Sean Payton's already making a difference. But
I don't know if that'll change.
Do we think Sean Payton's going to be worth the money that he got? Because it's massive. So according to this, Sean Payton is getting anywhere between $17 and $20 million a year for 5 years.
Who is the closest coach after that?
I'd probably Bill or somebody making 11 or 12. 17 to $20 million.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sean McVay makes 15 to 18 annually. I'm guessing that's due to what are they called? Those things you can do during the season that make you
incentives.
Yeah. Yeah. Good Lord. Incentives. But that 15 to 18 for McVay, 12.5 for Belichick, 11 for Pete Carroll. Kyle Shanahan 9.5. So instantly the highest paid coach in the NFL.
17 to 20 million a year. I don't know if he's going to live up to that kind of contract. I don't.
But the Broncos are owned now by Walmart, so who cares? They got the money, and they stink.
Hey.
And the franchise is embarrassed.
Does that mean we'll see more Subway commercials from Russell Wilson? Because you have Subways inside of Walmart.
There are a lot of Subways and Walmarts.
Something to think about.
Maybe Russell Wilson's commercials should only be shown at the Subways inside of Walmarts. Just keep them to a tight location.
Yeah, so gas pumps, those little TVs on the gas pumps.
We're just talking in-house television. We're talking the Subway TV network. There's a Cheddar News video, every 5 minutes before and after Russ's Subway ads.
Russ in the beanie and the sunglasses trying to be Danger Russ. Mm-hmm. I want to see him give one of those, like, you know what I mean? Ugh. Yeah.
Right.
I hate those commercials.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the only hire. Right after that, the Houston Texans announced that D'Amico Ryans is their coach. And what's so interesting about that is it seems like D'Amico had a better opportunity. It seems like, depending on who you ask anyway, because we had a battle of the insiders yesterday. You had first Ian Rappaport come out and say that all day long, the Broncos, all day long yesterday, had been trying to convince D'Amico to sign with them. And D'Amico decided to go with the Texans anyway, so their consolation prize was to trade a first and a second round pick for Sean Payton and then pay him a bunch of money. D'Amico instead signed with the Texans. Adam Schefter tweeted and said the timing of this is completely coincidental, saying that they haven't had contact with D'Amico Ryans. The Broncos haven't had contact with D'Amico Ryans all week long. So immediately conflicting reports from the insiders. But there seems to be a little smoke. The Broncos were also reportedly trying to quietly drag Jim Harbaugh out of Michigan again.
I almost got excited. Like, wait, Jimbo found a way in this?
No, they were slowly trying to drag Jim Harbaugh away from Michigan again.
All right, I gotta cool down, bro.
And then the D'Amico thing. So it feels like Rappaport was right. But D'Amico Ryans passed up the Broncos' job to go coach the Houston Texans.
I don't know. I'm trying to read what that means.
I was trying to do what you were doing too, because you're like, well, the Broncos' defense is great. D'Amico Ryans is a defensive guy that's going to plug in really well. You got Russell Wilson, maybe try to figure something out with him. However, you look at the other quarterbacks that you have to go up against in that division. You're going up against a Patrick Mahomes twice a year. You're going up against a Justin Herbert twice a year, as opposed to what you're going up against in the AFC South. You're going up against right now a Ryan Tannehill. You're going up against a Trevor Lawrence who improved this year, but he's still not there. And then whoever's going to be the guy in Indianapolis. It's not going to be Matt Ryan, Sam Ehlinger, whoever they trade for this year. So
I think the Jags are set up to be very good for a few years, no doubt. But, I mean, the Texans, that's where D'Amico played, got a relationship with the Texans. Mm-hmm. I get that. Do you hear a team begging a coach very often? Like, please be our head coach. Please. And then me like, I don't know. I think I want to go to Houston. Like, please. Oh, please. Please be our coach. It'd be really fun. And he's like, nah, I think I'm going to go to Houston. And he's like, fine. Whatever, I don't care. Isn't it the other way around? And like, don't you interview for jobs? Like, hey, I'd like to be your coach. And they're like, yeah, we'll think about it. We're going to interview a lot of people. The Broncos are like, but D'Amico, our mascot's a little horsey. What do you think? You want to be our coach? And he's like, this is kind of creeping me out. I think I'd just rather go to a worse team than have to work with you guys. Yeah, but isn't the color orange fun? And then he's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to go to Texas.
I'm trying to picture the owner of Walmart looking at D'Amico Ryans, please, please.
Maybe D'Amico read employee reviews from people who've worked at Walmarts to try to get an idea of how it was going to be.
Maybe.
And he said, no, I don't like that. I don't like that corporate structure. Mm-mm. I don't like what I'm hearing from employees of Walmart.
I'd rather go see what Davis Mills' neck's about. Mm-hmm. I'd rather go see what that is.
That neck's crazy. I kind of want to see that in person.
I'd like to go give him a recommendation to a chiropractor or something.
Yeah.
You know?
So that is weird. I feel like that doesn't happen much where a team's like, please, 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 and then they fail and they go, all right, fine, we'll just trade a bunch of picks and get Sean Payton. I don't even care.
The fact
Which Sean Payton, the guy who's been to a Super Bowl and accomplished all this, D'Amico Ryan's the never been a head coach guy, and Denver's begging the fresh face guy as opposed to the guy that's done it before. The whole thing is very interesting to me.
And I think the picks having to give up stuff to get Sean Payton is probably what made D'Amico a priority. But just the thought that Sean Payton is the consolation prize is wild.
It's a pretty good
That
consolation.
is wild. Yeah, you gave up a first rounder this year, which even though the Broncos stunk, was only like the number 29 overall. So it wasn't. I mean, it's a first round pick. It's valuable, but it wasn't like a top 10 pick. And then you're giving up a 2024 second rounder and getting back a 2024 third rounder. So you gave up essentially, you moved a pick from the second round to the third round next year. You gave up your end of the first round pick this year for Sean Payton. But the bigger story to me is how much they're paying him. That's nuts.
Nah.
Dude, Sean Payton is making $17 to $20 million a year. You know what? It hasn't even been that long. You think about 2012. It's been 10, 11 years. But back 10 years ago in 2012, quarterbacks were only making like $15 million a year. And now they're making $30 million for just to be a top 10 quarterback. And you got head coaches making more than what quarterbacks were making 10 years ago. It's crazy. I'm reading this book on the Cowboys in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about, what Troy Aikman wanted to get paid when Emmitt Smith were wanting to get paid when they had contract disputes. And it was like a big deal for Emmitt Smith to make like $4 million a year.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my God. I know that's been 30 years now, but jeez. Crazy.
Yeah, you can be a sixth man in the NBA and make as much money as a starting wide receiver in the NFL, like a top-notch one. That's like a pretty good one.
That's crazy. That is insane.
That's how it goes. But, D'Amico goes to Houston. Mm-hmm. Houston's had a coach leave there and go to the Tide before, so maybe this is just, 3-4 years before D'Amico says, I think I'd like to be a coordinator for Nick Saban at my alma mater, Alabama. So that's what I'm rooting for. I hope he has a great stint with Houston. And then, eventually it goes poorly and he's fired and then he's made defensive coordinator at Alabama.
I feel like
if we have to go through Bill O'Brien, we should be able to get D'Amico Ryan.
I feel like D'Amico would probably find his way back as an NFL coordinator just because of how great he was in San Francisco. So
he's great at Alabama, too. Just everyone around him sucked, but he was great.
So the other thing that makes the NFL fun to talk about, like when you have the things, like when you're a host of something, when you do a podcast or a radio show or anything like that, you want to find things that are interesting to you and what you think will be interesting to other people that are listening. The things that I find interesting are it's not always when someone does well. It's either when someone makes a big splashy decision like this, something that's surprising, or when they do something that's easy to make fun of. And the NFL does that a lot. The NFL actually did that yesterday when releasing some of these subs for the Pro Bowl. Some of these Pro Bowl guys,
which is not a thing.
The Pro Bowl. So the Pro Bowl now is going to be it's going to culminate in a flag football game. It's going to have like a bunch of games leading up to it, kind of like we did old school back in the day. However, a lot of these players are not excited to do this. Like they want to sub out. They're not in the playoffs anymore. Like Josh Allen's a Pro Bowler. Josh Allen's not doing this anymore. Josh Allen says, you know what, I'm opting out of the Pro Bowl. So instead of going from Josh Allen, you go down to the next guy, right? You go get Josh Allen's sub. Well, I don't know who these nameless subs are because I can promise you it doesn't go from Josh Allen to the guy they picked. It had to go from Josh Allen to no, please, no, all right, Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley is the sub for Josh Allen, one of the more talented quarterbacks in the NFL, is being subbed by Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley he scored a total of 3 touchdowns this year. He threw for a total of 2 touchdowns this year. And if you want to know how
threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, exactly. His turnover to touchdown ratio is 1. It's even.
Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowler. Yeah. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to show you the guys that have the same exact amount of passing touchdowns that Tyler Huntley has. And you look at me.
I'm only 2 behind.
That's the way to frame it.
Yeah.
If
I had 2 more, I would have had a shot.
Oh, did you play sports? Yeah, I'm actually only 2 touchdowns behind Tyler Huntley this year. Pro Bowler. So, yeah.
Nearly a pro. I'm going to put that on my resume.
Nearly a Pro Bowler.
Skills, Microsoft Word, Excel. 2 touchdowns away from being a Pro Bowler in 2023.
So here are the guys that have the same amount of passing touchdowns as Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley. You have Brett Rippon.
Great player.
Brett Rippon, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Pro Bowler in my eyes.
Desmond Ridder from the Atlanta Falcons. Tyler
I
Huntley.
think he played in 4 games, Ritter.
Taysom Hill threw 2 touchdowns this year.
He's not even a quarterback.
Yeah. So, and then there are a couple more on this page. There's 2 pages here. Josh Dobbs, who filled in the last 2 games for the Titans.
He had 2?
He had 2.
Dobbsy.
How do you say his name? David Blau?
David Blau.
David Blau.
Yeah.
Had 2 touchdowns and 1 last
How did
interception.
David Blau find an opportunity to get 2 touchdowns?
Didn't know he played.
I can't even tell you what team he did that for.
Have to be the Lions, right? I'd guess the Lions.
No,
He seems like a Lions.
not the Lions. They've had golf all year.
Yeah, but there wasn't like a garbage time or a time
I
golf
remember
got
seeing
banged
it, but
up.
I honestly don't remember what team. David Blau, Pro Bowler, 2 touchdowns.
The last quarterback to throw for the same amount of touchdowns as Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley this year. Kyle Allen.
Didn't know he played in an NFL game this year.
Me either. I had no
thought
idea.
Thought he left the league 4 or 5 years ago.
Now, if you're looking at me and you're saying, Antonio, you're doing Tyler Huntley wrong because, yes, he threw for 2 touchdowns, but he did rush for 1. He had 3 total touchdowns. Okay, here are the list of quarterbacks that threw for 3 total touchdowns. Mike White, the
Lightning
Jets.
Mike,
P.J. Walker, 3 touchdowns.
XFL superstar.
Gardner Minshew
Cool mustache.
and Sam Ehlinger.
We're back.
And those, and finally, those who just slightly outperformed Tyler Huntley. Jameis Winston with 4 touchdowns.
I, honest to God, haven't seen Jameis Winston in a game since September.
Jameis Winston threw 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Mitch Trubisky also 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Jared Stidham threw more touchdowns for the Las Vegas Raiders than Tyler Huntley did this year. And Teddy Bridgewater, to his backup. 4 touchdowns. Threw for 2 more touchdowns than Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley.
All those guys must have been busy.
That's exactly what it had to have been, dude. They had to have gone down this list of dudes.
Where is the Pro
Like,
Bowl now? Is it like in Orlando or whatever?
Yeah, somewhere in Florida. Florida feels right.
Oh, it's in Las Vegas this year.
Oh, okay.
They screwed up when they made it not tropical.
Yeah.
That was the thing keeping big time players going. You know, you bring the family, you bring the kids, you have a Hawaiian celebration, you're hanging out with players, fun week. Just doesn't hit the same way when you're going to Orlando, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If I got options, and Orlando's one of them, I'm kind of like Josh Allen. I'm going, I think I'm going to play in the Pebble Beach Pro-Am instead. Because that is what Josh Allen is doing. Did you see that? He's not missing it due to injury. He's playing a sport that same day. It's just not football. He's playing golf.
I can't blame him at all, dude.
No,
like,
why would no one cares about the Pro Bowl?
you've got to go down this list of guys. And you get to this guy, and they have to be telling you no. Like by the time you get down to before Tyler Huntley, you're like, "Hey, Sam Ehlinger, you want to fill in to be a Pro Bowl this year?" He's like, my cousin's bar mitzvahs this weekend.
Dude,
I'm out.
yeah, I can't, man. Get my shoes. I'm going to my cobbler that day, and I scheduled it months ago.
Cool.
I wish I could. I need new soles.
Cobbler.
I got to go to my cobbler this weekend, man. Good luck to you. I heard Huntley's open, though.
I think we got a couple more before him. Hey, Mike White, you were fun for a couple games this year. You want to be in the Pro Bowl?
Nah. What? What's the reason? I just don't want to.
No, you're busy. No, just
Like, damn, these guys aren't even coming up with excuses anymore. They're just straight up going, no.
no, I'm all right. I'm good.
Nah, I'd rather not.
Yeah. So
Busy? Nah. Okay, cool. All right, good talk.
good catching up. All right. And then
You sure you don't want to play in the dodgeball game Thursday? You sure you don't want to play in a dodgeball game on Thursday in February? You don't? Okay. Ooh. Oh, must be nice. Must be nice to have so many friends. Mike, you sure you don't want to have a long drive contest? Like you drove to a driving range on a Thursday night after playing dodgeball? You sure you don't want to be a part of this church lock-in that we're hosting in place of the Pro Bowl because you guys gave so little? of a care about that we had to turn it into a field day. We had to turn it into elementary school field day. You sure you don't want to go? Okay.
Hey,
All right. Well,
now I'm not one to spread rumors here, Mike, but I hear they're bringing the egg toss back this year. You want to?
Mike, did we tell you the egg toss is sponsored by Uber Eats? Did we tell you that? You still don't want to go? All right, you're lost, pal. You're lost. It's a 2-day event. Best catch finales on Sunday. Oddly enough, even though the first day is on a Thursday. You sure you don't want to wait around for 2 days in between the games? just wait. You sure you don't want to do that? Okay, all right. If that's what you want, pal. Well, I'll see if I care.
So the thing that's been bothering me the last couple of weeks, me and you talked about it earlier, and there's something that someone said about it. I've heard it a couple of times now, and it's really starting to eat at me now. But we're still having the conversation. Local talk shows are still having the conversation about who can claim Jalen Hurts.
Oh, God, not this again.
Listeners are calling in, wondering who can claim Jalen Hurts, Alabama or Oklahoma. But then you've got the really annoying people that are throwing out there, well, if Alabama can claim him, can Ohio State claim Joe Burrow? Can
claim Joe Burrow?
Right. You've got those questions. But the part that bothers me about it is when the hosts correct them.
Watch who you're pointing at.
Sorry. Whoa, sorry. Hey,
right.
The thing that bothers me is when the hosts go to correct them, and they say, well, you can't compare Joe Burrow to the Jalen Hurts situation because that's like comparing
apples and oranges?
Yeah. Why can you not compare fruit?
I didn't know we were.
Why can you not compare an apple to an orange? That makes no sense.
Is this going to be a rant? Is this what's happening?
I hate that saying.
Are you going to rant against fruits now and the way they're used in comparisons?
I hate that saying. Oh, it's like comparing apples to oranges. They're two totally different things. No, they're not. They're fruit. Do they have differences? Yes. But do they have similarities that you can compare? Absolutely. You know what? They're both fruit. That's number one. They both grow on trees. They both make phenomenal juice. All right? You ever have a good, nice glass of apple juice? Absolutely. You ever have a nice, cool glass of orange juice? Yes, you have.
I love juice. I love a nice juice.
Absolutely. So why can you not compare fruit? I hate that. So, you can't compare them. That's like comparing apples to oranges. You can compare apples and oranges.
They're different fruits.
Yes,
it's more
but they're fruits. They're comparable.
It's more of a figure of speech than
it's
people.
Dumb. Figure it out.
What were we talking about?
How stupid the apples to oranges comparison is. Like,
no,
compare
that's what you were talking about. What were we talking about?
Compare it to things that use it for something that's like not comparable at all. Those are kind of comparable. They're not two totally different things. They're not. You know what are two totally different things? Doing your taxes.
Sledgehammer and a bowling shoe.
Yeah, doing your taxes and changing your oil.
Hey, look, pal, this isn't sledgehammers and bowling shoes, okay? Give me a realistic comparison, will you? What are we arguing about?
I like that.
This isn't pneumatic sledgehammers and four-wheel golf carts, okay? You can't compare them. They're two totally different things. Would you like something better like that of two drastically different things?
Yes, I absolutely would. I would appreciate that way more because you can compare apples and oranges. They're fruit. Well, this one's sweeter than the other one. They do both grow on trees, though. But they're comparable things.
All right.
Drives me crazy. However,
I was looking into the eyes of my young boy last night. And as I look into his eyes, and I know his little brain's full of questions as it's growing and it's molding into what will eventually become the adult version of this boy. But as of right now, he's still just a baby. He's still figuring things out. Mm-hmm. And I look in there, and I could tell he's got questions just like me. And I look at him, and I go, is he wondering about apples? Is he wondering about oranges? Does he know what either of those fruits are? Will he use those fruits to compare things poorly in the future? These are the things that keep me up at night. Yeah. That's what you're talking about?
Sometimes I look at him with an apple and an orange, and I'm like, just knock them together?
You go, hey. Mm-mm. Maybe we do compare them. We didn't.
Yeah. However, I do like your, what would you say, sledgehammers and bowling shoes?
Hey, man, what is it, sledgehammers and bowling shoes? Get your
However,
argument together.
I think sledgehammers are a little too aggressive, though, according to the latest in trying to calm things down when we
I don't know where that list went, by the way. But
you don't have that list anymore?
I'll try to find it.
Oh, you had a list of.
And I've seen this one before about how.
Sayings that everybody uses.
You've got us on the discussion of stupid things. I'm sick and tired of nonfiction sections in bookstores. I'm sick and tired of oranges and apples not being comparable. Have you had the juice? Have you even thought about the juice?
You idiot.
Oh, God. All right, I found it. Yeah,
All
this is a list of, I don't know.
I'm going to go over here real quick before we get to your
ahead.
list on the YouTube over here. We have Chris Simmons. He says, the only quarterbacks with a ring left in the NFL are Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, and Matt Stafford. And all of them only have one ring.
Why, this truly, I mean, Brady's not done. He's going to come back.
Yeah, I think so.
It truly is the end of that one era, which has really been over for a while, but Brady really, he just lingered for so long.
He's keeping it alive, man.
But comparing this generation of quarterbacks to the one that's ending now is kind of like apples and oranges, because, I mean, like, Brady is just, he's all, that generation's ended. He got into this one, but really he's part of the old one. He took a lot of those rings from some of those dudes that can't play anymore. Why are you looking at me like that?
It's like comparing them to what?
But Brady took a lot of rings from dudes.
Comparing Brady's era to Patrick Mahomes' era is honestly like sledgehammers and bowling shoes.
It's sledgehammers and bowling shoes. What are we even talking about?
All right, so this list that you found.
What quarterbacks do you think will be added to that list before they're done? Which quarterbacks that do not have a Super Bowl ring get added to that list that are currently playing?
That will get a ring?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Burrow?
You know what? I know I told you who I liked in the Super Bowl on Monday, but if it's going to go the way I think it's going to go now, I think you can add Jalen Hurts to that. Because I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
I like Jalen Hurts. I think you put Burrow. I think you put Hurts.
I'm in your camp now, though. I think Josh Allen's going to be the oddball, and I don't think he's going to get one.
I can see Watson winning a Super Bowl.
Deshaun
Deshaun Watson is a guy that could sneak up and be really good next year.
I don't think so. I don't think they'll win one because it's the Cleveland Browns, and they are just.
There is something about that just keeps you from being good. But I mean, Watson is a guy that very under the radar now due to all of the off the field issues. But can't forget about old Waddy.
Yeah.
But Burrow, Hurts, Watson. I don't know if Josh Allen gets on there. It looks like the Bills, money-wise, I don't know if they're going to be able to add enough to compete in that AFC. Trevor Lawrence, I think, gets on. I think the Jags, man, are really built well. Who else in the I don't know.
Tua, maybe? I know you have some faith. I think Tua's – I don't know.
I got faith in Tua, but
not
with injuries. I mean, the guy goes through one full year. He has 3 concussions.
I don't see –
the clock's ticking for him already. Because, I mean, if he has one next year, he's not going to be – you already see he's not in a regular concussion protocol. I literally saw an article today that said Tua is out of concussion protocol. Wait, what? He wasn't even cleared to be in the Pro Bowl games last week.
What?
He wasn't cleared to be at kick-tack-doe or whatever.
He can't do the relay?
Yeah.
Tua can't be in the egg toss?
Then all of a sudden today, yeah, whoa, Tua's way too concussed to be in the egg toss sponsored by Uber Eats. And then today they're like, his brain's all right. He could be there, but he can't compete in it. Wait, what are we talking about? So if he has another hit, they're going to let him go full tilt next year, but his first concussion, it's going to be teams are going to be scared to play him.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. I think if they get Lamar Jackson some weapons.
Well, I think we've seen enough from the Ravens to show that Lamar is not going to be he's not going to win a Super Bowl with the Ravens. He's not going to do it because they're not going to get him enough. He was hurt again this year. You've got Joe Burrow in that division that's keeping you as a wild card guy most of the time. So I don't see Lamar winning one as a Raven. I don't see Herbert winning one as long as Brandon Staley is the Chargers.
The Ravens are going to change things for Lamar. They're going to try to keep Lamar. They've already got rid of Greg Roman, who was running an offense to try to highlight his running ability. And I think what they're going to try to do is get Lamar some weapons where he can be a viable quarterback in the passing game, and then as a fallback, one of the most athletic runners in the game, which I think will make all of his parts of his game better.
It sounds good. They just have to show me that that's what they're going to do.
Well,
He's been in the league 5 years now.
Greg Roman's out now. I mean, they tried to build around him. It got him injured. It couldn't get him past a certain level in the AFC. I think they're going to try to get him some weapons, do what the Dolphins did for Tua, bring in some guys, try something a little different, and see if we can get this guy going. Because at the end of the day, you got to be able to. You got to make some plays with your guys on the outside if you're going to compete.
Another team that needs to do that very same thing if they want to sniff the playoffs and sniff contention for a Super Bowl, similar to what you're saying with Lamar Jackson, except with the Ravens, you've got a guy in Lamar Jackson that can get out and make plays by himself. You've got a Patrick Mahomes that makes stupid, crazy good plays. Joe Burrow, he's even a little mobile. So can Josh Allen can get out and run. You know who can't do really any of those things, and who needs guys to help his offense look better? He'll be able to put the ball in the money for you and help you run after the catch, but he's not going to be able to make things happen on his own. Mac Jones. New England needs to get with the times and get some people around that guy. He is not a Herbert. He's not a Mahomes. He's not going to be able to run around and create something out of nothing. If you have guys that are great yards after catch guys or guys that just need the ball put where it needs to be, Mac Jones can do that for you. Mac Jones is good enough to do that, but Mac Jones is not a Lamar, a Herbert, or any of those guys that can get out and move a little bit and pick up stuff with their legs. He's not that guy.
That's another team.
You got to get him some help.
Then I think they're starting with by getting him an offensive coordinator, something they neglected to get last year.
Bill O'Brien's coming back, so there you go.
Which I think is much better suited for the Patriots and for Bill. It's a win-win there.
Yeah.
Right. He's an NFL coach.
All right, so let's wrap up with this list that you found.
Oh, this is evolving from violent language.
So instead of using this, you need to say this.
So like phrases like, I was kicking around an idea. Yeah, I know. Violent language.
What?
Yeah.
What did you just say?
It's violent language, dude. I was kicking around an idea. This one says...
Stop. Whoa.
I know. Bear with me.
Stop, dude.
This one says, I was thinking through an idea.
Oh.
I'm thinking through this idea as not being a very good one. I think I'm just going to say I'm kicking around an idea. How about maybe this one? Can you shoot me an email? Whoa.
Guys, can I just say that on behalf of
Put down your email gun.
On behalf of the Trash Pandas, all right, Ricky does not speak for, the sayings that we use, because instead of saying things like that vicious thing that Ricky just said, we say things like, can you send me an email?
They suggest the phrase, we can soften the blow by, would be better if it was, we can make it a little easier by. Who's doing this?
But so what's funny about this?
They don't like the phrase, what's the deadline? Instead saying, what's the due date? Could you imagine saying like, hey, when's the deadline? Like, hey, dude, my grandma's dead, all right? Think about that. You're like, what? I wasn't talking about that. Could you just ask me when the due date is? I'm confused.
Go back to the tweet real quick. Because there's two things about this. Number one, what this comes off to me as is like it's basically saying, hey, you don't want to use this one over here on the left. You know that you could also say this, and we're supposed to look at this and go, what? I could have said this the whole time?
Oh, my God. I didn't even realize I could just ask when the due date was.
Yeah.
I've been throwing around that deadline like a sledgehammer. It's like comparing sledgehammers and bowling shoes. You can't, it's way better.
In reality, we say these things like, I bombed that presentation, so we don't have to say things like, I didn't do my best. We say this because it's more fun.
Bro, I absolutely bombed that presentation. That's like, look, it was rough. I'm dealing with it. If I go in here and go, oh, I did not do my best. It's like,
my favorite one's this one.
Why
turning this one into this one.
Take the phrase, that's not a bad idea, and turn it into, that's a good idea.
What?
Oh, man, that's a good idea.
And then my other favorite thing, and I hope this is real, the person who tweeted this list, he says, I didn't even consider my language. I've used the phrases on the left too often.
So true. So
Oh,
true.
man.
I like this one. Let's not beat a dead horse. And then the next one is, let's not focus on that anymore. They didn't have any pivot for that one. Like, let's not beat a dead horse. Let's not beat Fred Durst. Let's not beat Fred. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't make any sense. Why would we beat up the lead singer of Limp Bizkit? Just tell him not to focus on it anymore.
Chocolate starfish. Hot dog flavored water.
Let's not beat a dead horse would sound better than that sounds like Fred Durst.
You know, Ricky, I think instead of saying things like, that'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone, you should say,
that'll feed 2 birds with 1 scone. You can't feed a bird a scone. Birds can't even eat rice due to their digestive systems. You expect them to, they're going to take down a scone?
What are you, stupid?
What are you, an idiot? Their bodies can't. You're going to kill that. You're going to kill 2 birds literally with 1 scone.
You know what?
You'd been better off throwing rocks at them. They could have avoided that. Their tummies have no chance against that scone you fed them.
Who's the dummy that wrote this list? You know what? I'll bite the bullet. It was me. Oh, excuse me. I won't avoid it any longer. It was me. Don't jump the gun.
I love it, man. Hey, let's not think of Fred Durst here, okay?
The last one. What was the last one? He's a straight shooter in meetings. He's pretty direct.
He's pretty direct in meetings. Some would call him a straight shooter. He's pretty direct. So let me just put it that way, okay?
He is Fred Durst. What? What is that?
That'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Maybe we should invite 2 birds to the townhome. Nah, that doesn't work. That's stupid.
We should build 2 birds, 1 home.
Dude, that's actually pretty good. Let's build 2 birds, 1 home. What do you think? Wait, we're going to make the birds roommates? Birds can't even have their own home? Nah,
Maybe they're married. I don't know.
That doesn't feel like we're solving 2 problems with 1 solution. It
No,
feels like
'cause
we're creating 2 separate problems.
Dude, if I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone, like, you're getting them out of the way. But if I'm building 2 birds, 1 home, like, I've got to get permits. I've got to get blueprints. You know what I mean? That's a lot of work. I've got to get the city's permission. Like, why don't
we can measure two birds that would have been shown? We can no, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we be measuring?
This thing is
birds?
so dumb, dude. It's like sledgehammers and bowling shoes. Is what this is. It's very bad.
Yeah, just trying to think of new phrases is going to make you sound stupid. But feel free to drop the let's not think of Fred Durst.
So to recap what the list is really saying and really wanting us to do, it's wanting us to watch our language and watch trigger words like dead and kill and shoot, and instead replace them with using Fred Durst as much as possible.
Agreed.
Just really try to revive the career of Limp Bizkit.
He kind of had a little mini comeback there for a while.
Did he really?
A little bit, dude. Last year.
Fred Durst put something out last year? Limp Bizkit did?
Durst gets numbers, dude.
No. Really?
Mm-hmm. There might be 2 Dursts out there. I don't know. Can you
Durst.
find 2 Dursts with 1 scone? Possibly.
Mm. Could you have 2 Dursts on 1 microphone?
Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Whoa. Let's put 2 Fred Durst on 1 microphone. What do you say? That sounds like some dad stuff. That sounds like the biggest dad joke ever. How about we put 2 Fred Durst on 1 microphone? What do you say, huh? Was that tight? No? Okay. All right. What do you say we tie a bow on this bad boy, huh?
Let's make like a banana and split. You know what I mean?
No.
Can I not say split?
Whoa. After what you said about apples and oranges, I feel like it's weird that you're going to be talking bananas and then to split it. That's very violent language. Let's maybe put it like...
let's make like a banana and just go our separate ways.
Let's make like a banana and provide every person that eats one of us a nice serving of potassium.
Let's make like a banana and provide nutritional value to everybody that we speak to the rest of the day.
And on that note, thank you everybody for listening. I'm Tricky Ricky. That's Tony Mack. And we're going to make hay while the sun's out. Or, I don't know. I think that's a saying you can still say. Is that a saying?
I don't know. There's no trigger word. Sun's good. Hay's good.
Hay, everyone loves hay.
Yeah.
Hay rides. Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we're all right. All right. I'm Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. It's been the Bullpen. We'll see you on